Your logic is just a PR department. It's hired to write press releases justifying the chaotic decisions that your wiring already made. You don't think first and then act second. No, you actually act first, and then your logic sprints in afterwards like a panicked intern trying to make the disaster look intentional. And the more chaotic your emotional wiring is, the more sophisticated that your logic becomes. Not because you're wise, but because you had to build a better PR team. Intellectualization is what happens when you're terrified of feeling anything real. So you turn your emotions into a TED talk. You don't feel the thing, you study the thing, you dissect it, you turn it into a concept, a pattern, a theory, anything that lets you avoid touching the actual emotion with your bare hands. That's not intelligence. It's emotional avoidance dressed up in academic drag. Rationalization is the cheaper version, the dollar store defense mechanism. You make an emotional decision, and then your logic shows up afterwards with a clipboard and it says, well, I didn't ghost them. I just needed space. I didn't sabotage the relationship. It was just not the right time. I didn't procrastinate. I just simply worked better under pressure. I didn't avoid the conversation. The conversation wasn't necessary. None of these are logical. They're convenient. Rationalization is the internal press release that you issue to protect your ego from the truth. Humans are emotional creatures who use cold cognition to justify hot impulses. You don't use logic to make decisions. You use logic to explain those decisions. And the more emotionally dysregulated that you are, the more you cling to the logic as an emotional support animal, something that gives you clarity, superiority, distance, control. Logic becomes a shield, not a tool. You're not being rational, you're being defensive. And people who grew up in chaotic environments learned one thing: being right was leverage, being smart was protection, being articulate was armor. If you couldn't control the environment, you could at least control the narrative. So you learn to weaponize logic, not because you were naturally analytical, but because it was the only safe place for you to stand. Your logic isn't clarity, it's camouflage. Awareness is passive. You can analyze your patterns for thousands of hours, but understanding the actual script doesn't stop the play. You're not searching for the truth, you're searching for the version of history where you get to keep your own pride. And here's the thing: your logic isn't protecting you from mistakes, it's protecting you from accountability. And that there is the trap. Logic is reactive, not generative. It doesn't prevent the damage, it just simply narrates. By the time your logic shows up, the body is already on the table. The decisions have already been made. The consequences, well, they're already in motion. Your logic is not the surgeon, it's the coroner. You don't have a logic problem, you have an honesty problem. And until you stop lying to yourself about who's actually making your decisions, nothing changes. So, no hope, no fix, just logic and chaos.